the deadliest attack on Jewish Americans in U.S. history.
Witnesses say he yelled, "All Jews must die."
This evil anti-Semitic attack is an assault on all of us.
He's called for the death penalty for this murderer in Pittsburgh who gunned down 11 innocent people.
The flames of his hatred were fanned by a president who kept talking about this caravan.
And Farrakhan, by God's grace, has pulled the cover off of that satanic Jew.
The satanic Jews that control everything and mostly everybody.
Very controversial Nation of Islam leader who has notoriously declared the Jews are my enemy and white folks are going down, was seated prominently alongside former President Bill Clinton.
He's made some of the most outrageous statements in the world, and the question I would ask President Clinton if I were with him would be, would you sit next to David Duke if he had been invited to a funeral of some white singer? And Farrakhan is every bit as bad as Duke. In fact, he has a larger following. Farrakhan has posed with President Obama. He's posed with Keith Ellison. He's posed with other leaders, both black and white.
Your country has been taken from you by the synagogue of Satan.
Past statements, like, for instance, Minister Farrakhan is a role model for black youth, wrote Ellison at Insight News op-ed in 1995. He is not an anti-Semite.
If you're African American, you can get away with supporting anti-Semitism, anti-gay, anti-white.
But wait a minute.
Nevertheless, are you here to say that Jews are not entitled to any homeland anywhere?
For 40 years, the Jewish state has existed, and they've had problems defining what is a Jew. Once we can define what is a Jew, then we can talk about a Jewish homeland. A Muslim is one who submits to do the will of God.
Muslims demonstrated chanting Khyber Ya Yahud, which means that Muhammad's army will crush the Jews as they did in Khyber in the 7th century.
Dusk in Paris. Heavily armed police prepare to storm the Jewish supermarket at Porte de Vincennes, where it was known a terrorist suspect was holding hostages.
Pharaoh was great, but he wasn't good.
There's something...
Hitler is a great and consequential man, but not a good man. That's all.
I just wanted to say I'd never seen either of you before, and I haven't been able to disagree with anything that the guest has said today.
And you just can't mainstream and allow legitimacy to a man who has expressed the kind of hateful views he's expressed of Jews, of white people, of gays.
Intense focus was brought to Obama's friendship with Bill Ayers, a co-founder of the Weather Underground, a revolutionary group founded in 1969 that bombed numerous public buildings. And Reverend Jeremiah Wright, who Obama had known since the 80s. The two became close enough that Wright ended up officiating the Obama's wedding, and the Reverend inspired Obama so much that the Audacity of Hope was based on one of Wright's sermons.
No, 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 not God bless America, God damn America, that's in the Bible for killing innocent people, God damn America.
After a sermon at the 95th Annual Hampton University Ministers Conference, asked if he had talked to the president, he said no. Now, the newspaper claims he began his answer with the phrase, "Them Jews ain't gonna let me talk to, or let him talk to me."
Have you spoken with him since he's been in the White House?
Them Jews ain't gonna let him talk to me. And the Jewish vote, the AIPAC vote, that's controlling him, that will not let him send a representation to the Darfur Review Conference, that's talking this craziness in Israel because they're Zionists.
We must stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters to defeat anti-Semitism and vanquish the forces of hate.